people want to ask a lot of burning questions about covering the royal family, and I like the fact that you want to know certain things about what happens, why does it happen, and more importantly the historical background towards it. You know, it's always fascinating, isn't it? Now, one of the things that's always fascinated me about the British monarchy is their traditions. You know, how do you find what certain people do? You know, I love the sort of titles, don't you? Keeper of the keys. You know, you kind of think, right, has he got the keys clutched to him permanently? You know, I feel like, oh, I'm always losing my keys, aren't you? But one of the questions that a lot of people have been asking me is, ladies in waiting, will Catherine continue this much, well, historical tradition one day when she becomes queen? So let me explain the background. Hi, good morning. Neil Sean here in the very heart of Yorkshire. Hope you're all keeping well, fine and dandy. Lovely to have your company. Beautiful day here today. Beautiful flowers surrounding as ever. And it's just nice to get out of the city, you know. We decided to escape the city because lots of things going off. No transport, virtual tube shut down. Wherever you are in the world, I'm sure you have these problems yourself, you know, but apparently we all have to do our bit to conserve our footfall energy, you know, that sort of thing, climate change, you know, like what Prince Harry's doing with those private jets. You know what I'm talking about. On a serious note, this particular story is fascinating because as the monarchy decides to rebrand and move itself forward into the 21st century, there are many things that really still hold tradition. And a lot of people have been asking me, you know, well, what is a lady in waiting? What do they do and how are they recruited? Many lady in waitings do actually come from aristocracy, you know, that's their background. They've normally become friends through either school, you know, friends of friends, or indeed friends of the British monarchy, normally through earls and countesses and stuff like that. And their roles really are just of a short period. Some can last many years, but obviously once they become themselves married and have children, they can't take that role on full time. In some circles many years ago, the Queen could have as many as 16 ladies in waiting. And everybody thought that these people were literally sat around, 16 people waiting hand and foot on Her Majesty the Queen. It isn't like that at all. There's a rota, you see. And what happens is when Her Majesty goes on an official function, particularly here in the United Kingdom and sometimes across the Commonwealth, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales, they would be there to assist. And that could be, you know, the navigation of the door, where she's supposed to get out. You'll notice the person sat with her in the car sometimes, or indeed just speaking to her prior to an engagement. They are informing Her Majesty or just reminding her who she's going to be meeting, their background, what they're going to do. Their other duties include, of course, collecting the flowers, good wishes, cards, and any other gifts that are given to Her Majesty the Queen. And then they have to transfer them back to the royal car, not the one that Her Majesty the Queen is in, but the second or third car. Hence the reason there's normally a motorcade. People don't understand, you know, you couldn't have the car chock-a-block with flowers, could you? It just simply wouldn't do. Or gifts, can you imagine? She couldn't get in the back of the car for all these wonderful gifts that she's received. Once they go back to the palace, then these gifts are itemized with the date, where they were given, when they were given, the time, etc. And then in time they're nicely distributed throughout, whether if it's toys to children's hospitals, to charities, flowers to hospices and hospitals, that sort of stuff. But will Catherine want to do the same in the 21st century? Well, she is from a commoning background, is it like, a commoner. But she could pick somebody perhaps from her circle of friends from university time. That could be the case. More importantly though, for her, she may want to radically break through and simply not do with that. This would be a big change of plan. A lot of people are saying she wouldn't want to break with tradition, and my thoughts are that she will continue this tradition of a lady in waiting. But right now, of course, it remains to be seen exactly how William and Catherine, once we've gone through the reign of King Charles, will redevelop, redefine and remodernise this wonderful monarchy of ours here in the United Kingdom. As ever, when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of Yorkshire.